Dan Townsley here with another Furkot trip tip. Today I want to go over just a couple of highlights of new features in the Find drawer. So I've already got a trip started here. I'm just going to open it up. And I've already set up my trip settings drawer. As we've discussed before, I think this is something you ought to do right from the start. Use as realistic dates and times as you can. Let's look at the Find drawer. There's some new features in the Find drawer. And if you just mouse over each one of these data sets at the top, you'll notice some pretty interesting new ones, especially for scenic byways and off-road use. There's also an enhancement to the feature to upload your own files either from your computer or from a website, which is pretty interesting. But let's look at Scenic Byways for the moment. Anytime you select one of these data sets, you need to come down to the bottom and look at all of the different data feeds that are coming into that set. The map gets pretty cluttered up, so I turn all of them off. This is a new feature. It's pretty handy. You can turn them all off, all on, and I go and select just the ones I'm interested in. In this case, I'm interested in just the scenic byways that I think car travel would facilitate, and then later we'll add on motorcycles. I'll show you another data set. For now, this data is data that's coming from America's Scenic Byways data set from the U.S. government. And here I've added in motorcycle roads as a data set to the Scenic Byways. So I get both car-friendly and motorcycle-friendly scenic byways. In the motorcycle-friendly scenic byways, very few dirt road type situations. In the America's Scenic Byways data sets, you may find some gravel roads, especially in the state scenic byways, as an example. So one of the things I'd like to show you is just how easy it is to incorporate these scenic byway tracks into your trip planning. Just like if you were importing a track from a GPX file or a KML file, it works the same way. You simply would find the scenic byway area you're interested in, and you click on it. If you do click on it, the information tab will open up in the Find drawer, and you'll get fairly decent information about the scenic byway. You can see where its source is, as well as types of road conditions, if appropriate. To add it, simply want to click on the route button up here at the top to add it to your byways trip. If it's not going in the direction you want, you can use the backtrack feature to turn it around. Of course, you could do that in the trip planner itself by just switching start and stop points using the reverse itinerary at the top here. I tend to like using it when I add it, especially if I've already got existing routes in there. Otherwise it can get pretty messy in your route planning. So if you pay attention to the direction of travel to start with. What I'm highlighting here is the fact that when you add a track to your route, your trip, it automatically comes in as locked. That way you don't disturb it since it is a track that's being imported. If you unlock it, you can then, of course, edit it. And we'll show you a little bit of that in another video. But for today, we're going to just cover the Find drawer data points here. So we've added a scenic byway section. For example, if we wanted to add something to that, of course, we simply could just click on something else and the routes would be connected with a proposed route path. We could, of course, edit that as we pleased. So that's it for the Find function with the new features of scenic byways and some off-road. We'll talk more in another video about the off-road features. So I hope you enjoyed this one. and we'll talk with you next time.